BassResinator here. I have just mixed up my resin. It's the Promise Epoxy 1 hour curing epoxy, and I'm gonna put in green glow in the dark. This is shaker molds, and I'll put everything that I'm using into the description box below. And if this is like any other glow in the dark stuff, you need to put a ton in order to get a good glow. So move this out of the way while I show you here. Now this glitter is a chunky glitter, and then it also has glow in the dark, I don't know what you call them, little flakes. It's not powder. They're actually little, like if you look on the stick, well, I see that, coming down right there in the middle. They're pale green, and those are the glow in the dark. For lack of a better word, I'm going to call them discs. I like messing around with glow in the dark stuff, so I'm doing it. My school's football team just won tonight, 50-11. So, and it was a Thursday night game because our field is being used by our sister school tomorrow night. So we share the field, so one plays, if we both have home games, one will play on Thursday night and one will play Friday night. And we had the Thursday night game. Okay, I'm going to grab for my dotting tool so that I can go around the edge, make sure there's no bubbles hanging out. I mixed up 3 ounces. That may be way too much. For some reason I'm having this eyes are bigger than my stomach syndrome. Order too much. Or mix up too much. And that's running down the outside of the cup. Well, I guess I needed something else to have glow in the dark. Okay, set that over here while I do the doing the roundabout. This is called a treble clef or a G clef. If you were in my class, I would explain why it's called one or the other, or both. But you are not. So you have to miss out. Maybe someday I'll do a podcast explaining concepts of music theory for the beginner. Okay. There's that. I just let that sit and let that sit and cure while I look for some other thing. You know, that would be fun. Let me get this out of the way so that doesn't focus again. Get my little druzy corgi mold and have a glow-in-the-dark druzy corgi. That should be fun. Oh, I know. My frog. I made a frog mold. That would be perfect with this greenish. Can I push that guy? Go, 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 go. I put a thing on the bottom here to help stabilize it, and it's. Oh, there it goes. And this glitter's going to sink, so his head's going to be really glow in the darky. I don't know if I have enough for this, but I have a little ducky mold. You can't see it, I'm off on the side right now. I'm going to have to stop real quick and squeeze his beak to make sure. You can't see. I'm trying to. Oh, I got away. Squeezing his beak to make sure he gets that we don't have any air bubbles down in there. Don't want no air bubbles ruining that beak or that bill. Can't have that. Oh, I don't have enough to fill him all the way up. But there's a whole bunch of glow-in-the-dark stuff right there that just went in. I'm scraping out the dregs. And there was a lot of that glow-in-the-darky stuff down there. I wonder what I could put in there that would cause it to fill up a little bit more. I know I've got some junk pieces of resin, but I don't want to put them in there too quickly because then it's going to sink and go all the way down on his head. Well, I'll figure out something and I'll get it to look decent. Okay, well, I'll let this cure up and I'll get back with you. See you after a while. I found an orange disc from a pour that I had done earlier. So that's what that orange is right in there. But yeah, I just put those under a little lamp while they're curing. And they do glow. Coolness. These are cured up. Watch what happens when I turn off the lights. So I've got my 8th note up here, my G clef, treble clef, and 16th notes, and my frog. I'm going to have to do something with his eyes so you can see those, and the little ducky, and my Druzy corgi. Yeah, cool. Okay, now I'm going to have to do the packing on these guys. So, I'll get to that shortly. Okay, I have cut out some acetate. Is that the word I want? Plastic. That's going to go over these holes. And I'm going to use some UV resin for bonding to hold those things in place. And then I'm going to go over the top with, I'm thinking probably UV resin over the whole thing to seal it off really good. But up here, this is a gap that should not be seen. Now I got little pumpkins in those note heads, and this treble clef, I have a thing that says "Made with Love." It's a heart, and the shape inside this treble clef is a heart. And in the note, I got a smiley face. And I'm not going to put oil in there, in those other spots, but up here I am, because I'm going to add, I just about had a big old accident. I'm going to use some purple, again, glow in the dark, but I'm going to put a little bit in here, and then I'm going to put oil, baby oil in there, so that when I seal it, we'll have hopefully a lava lamp effect. And I want that to be a different color because you're not supposed to be able to see. There should be a gap. These are 16th notes. If it were an 8th note, it would only have one line across, but they're 16ths. So I'm trying to get it to where you can definitely see a difference. Whereas before, you would see the same color as these. And I have no idea if oil and glitter mix. We'll find out. It's raining outside. Again, we've got a lot of activity in the Gulf right now. There was a possible hurricane, but it looks like it's gonna peter out. Okay, now I've got baby oil in this little thing. I don't want to put too much, and I do not want to get oil on the surface, because I want this to stick. I can't tell how much I have in there. And I want it to, a little bit more maybe. I want it to sort of ooze around. Don't dare go too much more, because then it'll get up and get where the UV resin's going to be. Okay, now I was going to put this, there we go. Get this in a little pot so that I can paint it in place. Let's see how well my plan goes. Do not want this leaking out. That would be one nasty mess. But if this works, it's going to be awesome. I'm saying awesome. There's a fingerprint on it. Don't want fingerprints. Can't have no stinking fingerprints. Oh, that was good. Gotta line that up. Don't want it hanging over. There's a big old bubble, but maybe that'll be cool. Now the other ones, I don't really mind leaking. It's not going to leak, but I don't mind if they have a little bit of air getting in there, because those, I want those little things to rattle with those little charms rattling around in there. Just a little bit. I will put that underneath the lamp. Don't know if that's going to work or not, but can hope. Okay, now these others should be relatively easy. I just got to get a cover over the top. So that little charm doesn't go flying out. I tried doing some shakers when I very first started. Man, I couldn't get those things to seal, and I was putting water and instead of baby oil in there, and that water just came out and it was just a major mess. I'm like, ugh. You know what? I'm just going to do all of these right now. Scoop that one up a little bit. Don't want to get my finger right in that glue. I thought about putting those charms in there and having oil with it and just have them float around. But I like the rattle. It was when I was putting them in there and I picked it up and I was like, oh, I like that rattle. So I'm leaving the rattles. Whoever made these molds, the treble clef is the correct direction. But you don't write notes that way. They should be facing the other way, unless you got them upside down. Leave it to a musician to see that. And I saw that, but I thought, you know, most people are going to want the treble clef. And if they want the notes, they probably don't know what they're doing anyway, so... I'm having to get down here on the side to see if I'm getting it painted everywhere. Okay. Now, to get these little jobbies in place, it's hard to see these. But I was having the most difficult time picking them up off this silicone mat. So I put them on the mold itself. Okay, now that was just being obstinate. Needs to turn. this other one. I traced around these pieces onto the acetate itself. And then I cut them out. Okay, now doing this just to hold them in place, and then I'll put them under the other lamp. Looks like I'm gonna have to trim a little bit on this one after it's all done. And this one a little bit too, it looks like. Okay, those are locked in place. Let me move this out of the way, and I'll get the big lamp up here, just back, just a bit. I'm going to put that on there for 5 minutes right now, so I'll come back to you when this is all done. Okay. Oh man, I bumped to the camera, and now it wants to, it's leaning. It's the leaning tower of something. I put plastic wrap over my plastic thing because I didn't want this UV resin to spill all over it and have seal it in place and stuff. Okay, well the easy one to do is going to be, because it's got more surface area. So I'm going along here trying to touch up that middle one and get everything set in place. I did not see it leaking over the side. No. And as it was leaking over the side, it was also leaving a it wrinkled the surface. So I decided on these next two that I would not put as much on at first, get a little covering on that acetate, and then go over it again with a little bit more after it's already been cured. So I did a couple layers on both of these, and I didn't have any of the problems. Now maybe the problem was with the larger area that bigger note had exposed to that acetate. I don't know, but all I know is that when I put the UV flashlight on there, I'm thinking of the song, the Christmas song, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Let it glow, let it glow, let it glow." Yep. Okay, everything's all cured up. Watch this. Come on now. It goes back and forth. And that purple just sort of oozes with the oil. Which is what I wanted. Yeah. And so you can definitely see a different color in between those two lines, which is the way it's supposed to be. And you hear the little rattle. Now this is the way you would see these notes, because those note heads are always supposed to be that side of the line, not this side. That's no. So this is correct. This would be correct. This, no. But got that one all smoothed out. And treble clef didn't have any problem with that one. So yeah. But then had my Druzy Corgi, and I colored his eyes, not real well, but it just when he's glowing, they look dark, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. And I did the same thing with the little ducky. Bring in a different thing. I'll pause it and charge them up. Okay, they're all charged up. You ready to see this? Glowing starts now. Bam! And all of these are the one color. This guy's got a little bit different color because of that orange disc that I put in him. But yeah, fun. Now, you can still see that thing going in the dark. Cool. Subscribers, thank you. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. You get to see more stuff. You can't see my finger. More stuff like this. It's free. Join. For those of you that hang with me all the time, thank you so very, very, very much. I've got kids going to, not my own kids, well, my students, going to a choir contest tomorrow, so I'm going to be busy, 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 busy. So, yep, I will see you sometime soon.